She was clearly the most powerful empress in the kingdom, yet she had a soft spot for a lowly foundation establishment stage Taoist. She even ran herself ragged for the man in the painting, working day and night to find the all-knowing old dragon king. All because the man's fortune-telling said that in 1,000 years, she'd become a mother, and he was the child's father. Right now, the old dragon king was pleading with the empress to spare his young friend, adding that if the man were to get serious, even you, the demon lord, might not come out on top. The empress, who hated being threatened more than anything, was about to erupt in fury. But the old dragon king explained that the man was favored by destiny itself. To fight him was to fight against the heavens. The empress's anger turned into a laugh. Excellent, that's what I expect from my husband. The old dragon king was instantly stunned. I thought you two were about to fight, but you're just being all lovey-dovey? Seeing that they were on the same side, the old dragon king quickly added, your husband, my young friend, might just be an immortal. The empress roared with laughter. There are no immortals in this world. That's just something foolish people worry about. Meanwhile, somewhere else, the man couldn't help but sneeze. Who's talking bad about me? Time rewinds to 1 month ago. Turns out, I'm a transmigrator. I specialize in singing, dancing, and divining destiny. It's just that every divination costs merit points. If I reveal heavenly secrets, I get skill rewards. But if I hide them, I'll suffer heavenly punishment. 1 second I'm telling a bald guy he'll be single for life. The next second he's flipping my table over. I could have used my own merit points to change his fate, but I'm no saint. Why should I help someone who flipped my table? Before long, a red-haired girl stopped me. Hey handsome, how about a reading for me? But one look and I could tell she wasn't a normal human. She gasped, that's so accurate. A normal person would never know I'm a demon. So I told her I'm a man of principle. By which I meant, I need more money. 100,000 spirit stones. The red-haired girl was stunned. That was some serious price gouging. And yet, the more I charged, the more she believed me. She didn't hesitate to offer a high-grade magical artifact, the Crimson Flame Pearl, to cover the debt. And this Crimson Pearl was incredible. It could save a person's life at a critical moment. Thinking of that, I actually felt a little bad for overcharging her. I immediately spent 10,000 merit points to divine her future. It turns out, Hongzi was born in the Myriad Demon Kingdom. At 300 years old, she successfully took human form and gained sentience. And when she turned 600, she stole the Demon Lord's treasure. Hongzi asked with an expectant look, what about my future? My love life? What future or love life is there for a dead person? The next moment, she was decapitated. After a flash of light, the Demon Lord, Chu Shanlan, walked towards me with a dark expression. An attendant respectfully presented the stolen item to her. I was speechless. Well, I'm screwed. This rabbit spirit dared to steal from the Demon Lord, and now she's going to drag me down with her. That fortune I just told was pretty accurate, though. Why don't you do a reading for me as well? I quickly snapped my divination flag. Fortune telling? What fortune telling? I'm just passing by. I tried to slip away but was blocked by a group of guards. It's just a reading, right? It would be my honor. It's just that the fee is a little steep. The Demon Lord waved her hand dismissively. I have plenty of money. I added with a grim face, patron, some things are better left unknown. The Demon Lord put her hands on her hips, about to order her guards to finish me. I hurriedly presented a brush. Demon Lord, please, grant me a character to read. I watched as the Demon Lord casually wrote a single character. It almost made me faint on the spot. I exclaimed internally, holy cow. As expected of the Demon Lord, this damn system was trying to extort 100 million merit points from me. The Demon Lord grew impatient. What, can't you read it? I have never kept useless people around. What are you standing around for? Kill him. I quickly shouted, wait. Spare me. I dare to do the reading, but do you dare to pay the price? The Demon Lord stopped her men and asked, how much do you want? I laughed out loud. Oh, not much at all. I only ask for the Myriad Demon Kingdom as my fee. Such arrogance. Who gave you the nerve? Kill him. Wait. Divining just a tiny piece of the future is negotiable. Besides, don't you want to see yourself 1,000 years from now? Stop. You listen to me. I want you to do the reading right now. Take this purple gold gourd as your payment. But what I didn't expect was that 1,000 years later, she was raising a kid. 1,001 years later, she had a headache over her son's education. Her son wouldn't cultivate, he just told fortunes all day. 1,002 years later, she was very pleased with her daughter's cultivation progress. 1,003 years later, the 4 sons started playing with their father's coiled banner. 1,004 years later, the 5th son is about to be born. Seeing this, I finally understood what was wrong. 1,010 years later, the divine fortune teller Zhang Li returned home to reunite with his wife. I looked at the divination result, feeling utterly hopeless, while the Demon Lord still looked completely clueless. How was I supposed to explain that I'm her husband? The Demon Lord started counting to 10, threatening to send me to the King of Hell if I didn't talk. In his desperation, the man decided to gamble on the half-jade pendant given as a system reward. And what do you know? The system prompted that holding this pendant could make the Demon Lord do one thing. 3, 2. The Demon Lord's countdown continued, her expression growing darker and darker. I quickly clasped my fists and congratulated the Demon Lord. 1,000 years from now, your 5 sons will bring you great fortune and a happy, fulfilling life. Hearing this, the Demon Lord's killing intent surged dramatically. As for me, I went on to describe the situation with the 4 children in great detail, even congratulating her that the 5th son had the makings of a human emperor. Before I could finish my sentence, the Demon Lord on the other side couldn't help but attack. Such nonsense. Do you have any idea what I am capable of? I was brimming with confidence. If a single word I said was a lie, may I be struck by lightning. The next moment, a thunderbolt from a clear sky left me completely stunned. The Demon Lord was so furious she laughed. Then why don't you tell me, just what kind of man could make me willing to bear his children? What a coincidence. That would be this humble one. Oh, is that so? By now, the killing intent in the Demon Lord's eyes was unimaginably thick. Fortune tellers. All of you are just frauds chasing fame and fortune. If I were to kill you today. Seeing the situation, the man quickly took out the half-jade pendant. Demon Lord, please calm your anger and look at this first. The Demon Lord froze instantly and hurriedly asked where the pendant came from. I chuckled. Who cares where it came from? The point is, you have to promise me one thing. For example, marrying me. The Demon Lord nodded, actually agreeing. I was stunned for a moment. Seriously? You'd even agree to marriage? The Demon Lord held my face and sneered, so what if we marry? I can very well invite you to your death on our wedding night. With your end so near, how can there be 1,000 years from now? I gave an awkward laugh. This humble one was just joking. I haven't made a wish yet. I hope you'll return the pendant and let this humble one reconsider. But Tu Shanlin clutched the pendant and wouldn't let go. Men, take him away. I intend to deal with you properly. Seeing this, I pulled a talisman from my robes and made a run for it. Whoever wants to marry this she-devil can have her. I'm never seeing any of you again. Little did he know, his action came as quite a surprise to the Demon Lord. Who in the world is he, that he could get the old Dragon King to draw him a life-saving talisman? The Shadow Guard quickly asked for instructions. Should we capture him and bring him back? Tu Shanlin shook her head. There's no need. I'll just go to Sun Moon Lake and ask the old dragon for him myself. In fact, he hadn't been idle these past few days, occasionally helping spirits with divinations to enlighten them. He punished an old turtle that had harmed countless people and even had a stroke of incredible luck, acquiring the Dragon of National Fortune of the Qin State. He was doing this to collect bargaining chips to escape when he eventually met the Empress. However, as fate would have it, the Sword Empress came looking for him. She was Feng Jianu, the #1 swordmaster in the world today. The man hugged the now enlightened cat, Mao Yaoshan, and trembled with fear. Zhang Li, you've been quite hard to find. The Demon Lord has ordered you to be taken alive. Mao Yaoshan leapt decisively from the man's arms. It actually threw itself between the Sword Empress and the man. Great Sword Empress, I've only just met this man. We're complete strangers. As for him, whether you want to kill him or chop him up, please, do as you wish. The Sword Empress snorted coldly. In that case, get lost. As soon as she turned her back, Mao Yaoshan instantly sprang into action. In the blink of an eye, it transformed into a giant snow lion. Master, now's your chance. Run for it. The man and the beast tore through the forest at top speed. Panting heavily, the man looked back. We've finally lost her. But when he turned his head forward again, he found the Sword Empress was already waiting for him. You must be about tired from all that running, right? Why not just surrender and spare yourself the pain? Even your boss couldn't catch me. What makes you think you can threaten me like this? Bye-bye. The next moment, the man slapped a 1,000-mile divine walk talisman onto himself. However, nothing happened. The man cried out, I've been scammed. The old Dragon King gave me a fake. The Sword Empress took out a shimmering golden Dragon King token. This token nullifies all of the Dragon King's talismans in your possession. Pushed into a corner, the man said, I have other tricks up my sleeve. I respectfully summon the true Lord Xuanchen, subduer of demons. The Sword Empress was startled. This god summoning art is no simple matter. Does that mean you are a disciple of the Shenshao Palace? The man stated that he had been kicked out of Shenshao Palace after only a few months, so he couldn't really be considered a disciple. Even someone as worldly as the Sword Empress had never seen anyone capable of summoning a god from the upper realm of the 9 heavens. In the next moment, an invisible, giant hand emerged from the void. This sight made the Sword Empress become much more serious. She slowly opened her sword casket. Zhang Li. Oh, Zhang Li. The Dragon King considers you a dear friend. The Crimson Dragon of National Destiny sees you as its savior. The Nanshan Mountain Lord is willing to be your mount. And now, you can even summon a god from the highest heavens. It's just a pity you've encountered me, the Sword Empress. A majestic aura, radiating from the giant hand, pressed down with a tangible force. The Sword Empress planted her sword into the ground. The world knows me as the Sword Vassal, but they do not know which sword I serve. That's because they were never worthy of me drawing it. Today, I will tell you the sword's name. With a deafening crash, the giant hand in the sky was slashed apart, turning into golden dust. Now then, I've destroyed the god monarch you summoned. What other tricks do you have? The man was completely dumbfounded. This handmaiden was far too strong. He crossed his arms and said, "You think I don't have a backup plan?" 1 second, the man was saying, "Ah, demon lord, you've arrived." The next, he was frantically spurring Manhua to flee. The sword Empress snorted coldly and quickly gave chase. The man put his hands together in a prayer position. "I respectfully summon the Wind Master True Lord and the Swift Travel True Lord." With this dual god summoning for speed, the man actually managed to shake off the sword Empress. He could see that the sword Empress was injured. Otherwise, even summoning gods for speed would have been useless. The man and his beast charged straight ahead. Arriving before a temple, the man hurriedly knocked on the door. "My name is Zhang Li, and I request an audience with the living Buddha of Linghong Temple." Disciple Kelly pays his respects to Master. Hearing this, the man was stunned. What in the world is going on? Kelly explained, Master has already passed into nirvana while fending off the sword vassal. Before he passed, he foresaw that his future master would be the first to knock on this door. The man was taken aback. Could this living Buddha have been some kind of fellow trickster? But, if he died fighting that sword Empress, it's somewhat related to me. But what is this supposed to mean? Have I just gained a disciple out of thin air? The man thought that when the sword Empress arrived, this little monk would be in danger too. Might as well just run away together. The three of them ran for who knows how long. Suddenly, Manhua came to a screeching halt. It turned out they had arrived at the mouth of the Jinsha River. After getting on a bridge, the three of them looked at the river and sighed. "We don't actually have to swim across, do we?" This was just absurd. Suddenly, Manhua noticed a boat actually approaching on the river. The man began waving his hands as fast as he could. "Boatman, boatman, over here." The man laughed loudly. "It's true that heaven never seals all exits. I can finally get rid of that sword vassal. Boatman, sorry for the intrusion." From behind a curtain, a woman's cold laughter rang out. "Oh, it is indeed an intrusion." The man already sensed that something was wrong. That voice sounded way too familiar. Nine-tailed fox ripped open the curtain. "My future husband, we meet again." This woman had just been reunited with her husband, yet she wouldn't even give him a proper glance. She would rather hold a small cat than acknowledge him, and even told her husband to prepare himself for punishment. This was all because this trickster had used his cheat ability to command the Empress to marry him, and then promptly left home for an entire month. By the time the man snapped back to reality, he was already tied up tightly. 1 second, he had just managed to bite through a talisman. The next, he was squeezing out an ugly smile. "Honey, you're here." His wife picked up the god-hiding talisman without saying a word. "Did you want to leave me that badly?" Then, she made a flicking gesture with her fingers. The man was sent flying into the distance. "Honey, next time, can you please not aim for the face?" Early the next morning, the man was escorted before the Empress. He was fantasizing that his wife might have had a change of heart, but the little monk shattered his illusion with a single sentence. "Master, you can stop dreaming. She's just thinking about how to gouge out your eyes." The man immediately shot back. "How could my wife do that to me?" It turned out the little monk could read minds. "That's right. If you look at me with those flirtatious eyes again, you won't have either of your eyes for much longer." The man immediately surrendered. "I was wrong. I'll do it again next time. It's only natural to appreciate beauty." His wife was taken aback. "Is that true?" The man thought to himself, "Did I say the wrong thing again?" His wife lowered her head and smiled. "The whole world fears and respects me. You're the first man to ever speak to me like that." The man quickly tried to placate her. "Look, we don't have any grudges against each other." His wife let out a cold snort. "Have you forgotten the fortune you told?" The man explained helplessly. "That's what the divination said. I can't change it. In 1,000 years, you will be my wife." Naturally, his wife didn't believe him. "Then wouldn't killing you solve that problem?" The man said through his tears. "What if I just buy my life back from you?" She scoffed. "How ridiculous. Is there anything in this world I don't already possess? You want to buy your life, but what assets do you possibly have?" The man replied, "And what if I could cure your hidden illness, your highness?" His wife's eyes widened instantly. How could he possibly know? A monstrous wave of killing intent instantly engulfed her. The man was taken aback. "Hey, can't we just solve the problem here? And how would you do that? If you can't explain it, or if your explanation is unsatisfactory, you'll forfeit your life. In the Divine Firmament Palace, there's a glazed heaven medicine that can cure your illness." Her killing intent subsided. "Are you famous in the Divine Firmament Palace, by any chance?" The man shook his head. "Not famous, more like, infamous." His wife snorted coldly. "Don't tell me you've been causing trouble with women at the Divine Firmament Palace as well. And I bet the master of the glazed heaven is a woman, isn't she?" The man was dumbfounded. A woman's intuition is terrifyingly accurate. His wife laid her cards on the table. "I'm not letting you run." The man declared with righteous indignation. "Fine. I'll leave them both with you as collateral. They are my precious disciple and my pet. I, Zhang Li, I'm absolutely not the type to abandon those close to me just to save my own skin. Ignoring him, his wife turned directly to the little monk. Is he telling the truth? Little monk, if you dare deceive me, I'll throw you in a pot and make a stew out of you. The little monk immediately burst into tears. Please don't eat me, my master is lying. The man obediently stood up and turned his rear towards his wife. Please, be gentle. A moment later, an earth-shattering scream erupted from the pleasure boat. The little monk, his face streaked with tears, woke the man up. The man was just furious he didn't have the strength to punish his good-for-nothing teammate. Meanwhile, on the other side, his wife stared thoughtfully at the green jade pendant. Her grandmother had once told her on her deathbed, the one who holds the other half of this jade pendant will be my destined partner. But he's not my type at all. Just at that moment, a strange phenomenon appeared in the sky. The sword attendant couldn't believe it. Some lunatic is actually foolish enough to undergo their tribulation on the river? Then she realized, but why is the tribulation cloud directly above us? The man poked his head out through the ship's curtain. Pardon me, but the lunatic you were just talking about is, in fact, me. The man was immediately dragged before his wife by the sword attendant. It turned out that he had to perform a destiny divination for 3 people every single day. If he failed to do so, he would summon a heavenly tribulation. His wife stared at him, unconvinced. Don't you dare try to fool me. The man said bluntly, the tribulation cloud is already above our heads. Besides me, who else on this boat could possibly have summoned it? In 1 hour, the thunderclouds will coalesce. When they do, this entire little boat will be blown apart. To prevent that from happening, I can tell the fortunes of my disciple and the little cat. Would you perhaps allow me to read the fortune of the female sword emperor, as well? His wife immediately rejected the proposal. She is my personal handmaiden. I can't have you prying into my business through her. The man sighed. In that case, please just do me a kindness and throw me off the boat. It's better than being blasted by the heavenly tribulation. His wife took a couple of steps forward. Can you only read fortunes for the living? The man froze for a second, then replied, as long as it has a spiritual essence, I can. The woman tied up her hair. In that case, wait for me a moment. This golden sand river is full of corpses. I'll summon one for you. Then, with a splash, she actually dove into the river. The water had just begun to bubble when with a whoosh, his wife had already done the deed and emerged from the water. A row of 6 corpses was lined up neatly in front of the man. 1 corpse per day. That should be enough for you, shouldn't it? In that case, we won't disturb you. As the 2 women walked away, the man was left completely stunned. Thanks, but could you maybe untie me first? She was clearly the magnificent, peerless 9-tailed female emperor. And yet, she was relentlessly chasing after a scoundrel of a Taoist priest, all because he held the token of their fated marriage. He was destined to become her husband in 1,000 years. Right now, they were concluding their honeymoon at sea and returning home in triumph. But why were they being greeted by a crowd of only female foxes? The head handmaiden stepped forward and spoke respectfully. Young master-in-law, you've returned. My, what a sweet talker. The man hurriedly clasped his hands. I'm not worthy of the title, not at all. His wife snorted coldly. At least you have some self-awareness. Just as the man was being led into his room by the handmaiden, Mao Yaoshan the cat was snatched up and cradled in the female emperor's arms. I have a question for you. Has Zhongli ever told your fortune? Mao Yaoshan immediately transformed into a little kitty and bowed down completely. The master has only ever told my luck for the day, never my entire life's fortune. That's strange. Why not? Don't you want to know your own destiny? The little cat said, trembling, I wouldn't dare. Other fortune tellers only reveal a fraction of one's fate. But when the master tells a fortune, he reveals everything. For someone whose fate he hasn't read, their destiny is still undecided. But once he has read it, that destiny is set in stone. The Empress was taken aback. How does this sly husband of mine have such power? Is that really true? Mao Yaoshan puffed out his chest. Not a single word is a lie. To this day, the master's predictions have been 100% accurate. The Empress narrowed her eyes. My husband truly is a wonder. Just then, a pleasant female voice called out, Big sis, I've come to see you. The little cat was startled. Could that be the next heavenly demon lord? The legendary Tushan Ning? The little fox was eagerly looking around. Where's my brother-in-law? I can't wait to meet him. Anyone worthy of my sister must be a man with 3 heads, 6 arms, and 9 tails. The Empress sighed. How are we even related? She then ordered her sword-bearer to take her silly sister away. Unable to see her brother-in-law, Aning was crestfallen. She hadn't managed to get even a shred of information. Completely humiliated in front of her companions, Aning fumed, you all just wait. If my sister won't tell me, I'll just find my brother-in-law myself. And with that, she took off running into the distance. Meanwhile, Wan Nu was showing the man to his quarters. The man was relieved his wife hadn't thrown him in a dungeon. But Wan Nu, who was just so sweet a moment ago, suddenly changed her tune. Oh, and sir, if you dare try to run, you know the consequences. The man grimaced. Wow, she changes her mood in the blink of an eye. The next moment, Hua Nu was all smiles, inviting the two to dinner. But on a table laden with food, there wasn't a single dish with meat. Hua Nu explained, "These mountains and fields are full of our kind. You wouldn't want to eat them, would you?" The man quickly stuffed a cucumber into his own mouth. "See? Look how much my good apprentice loves this stuff. Oh, by the way, Sister Hua Nu. Seeing as fate brought us together, how about I read your fortune for you?" Hua Nu doubled over with laughter. "You're exactly as the mistress described. She told me that if you offered to read my fortune, I was to give you one of these, friendship ender, punches." A miserable cry from the little monk immediately echoed from inside the room. "Master, you can't die on me like this." The man cried with a pained expression. "I'll remember this, wifey." The little monk then stammered that he wanted a chicken leg. The man was stunned. "Aren't you a monk? How can you eat chicken legs?" The little monk put his palms together. As they say, wine and meat pass through the intestines, but the Buddha remains in the heart. Life is short, we should live it to the fullest. The man couldn't agree more. "You're a pretty sharp kid, you know that? Alright then, I'll take you to find some wild game." The two of them then snuck into a patch of tall grass to lie in wait. The little monk was doubtful. "Do you really think a rabbit will fall for such a simple trap?" "Master, I think we should just accept our fate and go eat vegetable scraps." Before he finished speaking, the trap snapped shut, catching a rabbit. The man chuckled. "See? Told you it would work." But when he lifted the basket, they saw a pink fox inside. She immediately yelled, "How dare you ambush me?" The little monk pondered, "I've never eaten fox before. Should we steam it or braise it?" The little fox puffed up her tail. "Do you have any idea who I am? Listen up, I am the great Tushan Ning. And who are you?" "My name is Zhang Li. I'm a fortune teller. Would you like a reading?" Tushan Ning scoffed. "Absolutely not. My sister said that every single fortune teller is a charlatan." An image of a certain woman immediately popped into the man's head. "And may I ask, what is your sister's name?" Saying her name would scare you to death. "My sister is the Lord of Tushan. The Demon Lord, Tushan Lan herself." The man's face showed an I knew it expression. Tushan Ning puffed out her chest. "I came all this way to find my brother-in-law, and you've held me up. As punishment, you have to take me to him. I heard he lives in that house up ahead." The man cracked a slight smile. "Has it ever occurred to you, that I might be your brother-in-law?" And to think this fox was trying to find a partner for her sister. But the requirement was for someone with 3 heads, 6 arms, and 9 tails. The man quickly said that since he didn't meet her sister's standards for a partner, they might as well just call off this marriage. The little fox turned to leave, her face full of disbelief. "If you're spouting nonsense, I'll have my sister chop you into 8 pieces." The man sighed, thinking what a pair of characters these two sisters were. Just then, a colossal object blotted out the sky as an enormous airship sailed in. No one knew which big shot had arrived. Inside the Fox Immortal Grand Hall, reporting to the Demon Lord, the young master of the Great Desolation seeks an audience. The young master of the Great Desolation? For him to come to my Mount Chu at this critical time. I fear he comes with ill intent. The sword slave saw the displeasure on the Demon Lord's face. The Demon Lord shook her head, signaling not to act rashly, and gave the order to let the Great Desolation clan into the Fox Immortal Hall. Before long, an arrogant man with golden hair and fine robes was brought in. "Demon Lord, my Great Desolation is also a major clan. I presume you won't mind if I don't kneel. I've come this time." "Insolence! Who permitted you to see me and not kneel?" A terrifying pressure descended from above. The young master of the Great Desolation couldn't bear it and fell to his knees. With her dominance established, the young master became much more subdued. The green-skinned attendant awkwardly tried to smooth things over. "Kneeling is as it should be. We were just wondering, where is the sacred Qilin beast?" "The sacred Qilin beast? It's been prepared. Bring it in." The next moment, the sword slave walked out carrying Mao Yeoshan. At that moment, Mao Yeoshan was still shouting that he was tired of grapes and wanted a change of flavor, right up until an attendant snatched him up. Only then did he realize something was wrong. "Heavens bless our clan. Wonderful. We've finally found the sacred Qilin beast." Mao Yeoshan looked completely bewildered. "You must have made a mistake. I'm just a house cat." Then, the attendant spoke again with the utmost respect. "Your Eminence, we have one other matter to discuss on this visit." "Then speak." The next moment, the attendant magically produced countless treasures. "We have heard that your Eminence is not yet wed. Across the entire myriad demon nation, only our young master of the Great Desolation is worthy of you. Therefore, we have actually come to propose a marriage. You are a perfect match." "A perfect match? Among the great sages of the demon race, I am invincible. What is your level of cultivation? As the ruler of the myriad demon nation, what is your status? When I was slaughtering otherworldly fiends in a world of chaos, where were you? Besides, I already have a husband. You think you're worthy?" In the courtyard of a side palace, the man suddenly sneezed. He lifted his head and looked towards the sky. "Why'd I get the feeling someone is bad-mouthing me?" Night fell. Inside the guest hall, a tea table had been smashed to pieces. "How dare that Chu Shanlan humiliate my Great Desolation clan like this?" The attendant gave a cold laugh. Young master, be patient. We only need to wait for the night of the full moon. The demon lord's cultivation will vanish and her mind will fade. At that time, we can use our clan's methods to seize her life essence. A dark, indescribable look appeared in the young master's eyes. Then I'll tolerate her for another 10 days. The main hall was vast and empty, utterly deserted. Only the flower slave stood to the side, trembling. It's this late, why is there no one in the grand hall? Give me a perfect explanation. The flower slave, sweating profusely, explained, they should all be over with the human diviner. I hear they're all listening to that diviner's sermons. Actually, if I didn't have duties, I would want to go listen too. When the demon lord heard this, she couldn't help but laugh. Why would a group of great demons listen to a sermon from that mere foundation establishment human? At the scene, Zhang Li's lecture hall already had a long queue. The old gecko lady next door to me ascended to a higher realm right after she listened. A young monk saw a pig-faced man in the back of the line and hurried over. Sirs, please return. Mr. Yang's sessions for today are already fully booked. The pig-faced man was instantly displeased. I've been queuing for 2 days. Why are you sending me away again? Just then, the young master of the Great Desolation also arrived on the scene. What Zhang Li? He's clearly just a fraud chasing fame. A horse-headed man immediately advised him, brother, you don't understand. In one day, Mr. Zhang enabled 3 mother sows to become talking pig immortals. He truly is worthy of being the man Her Eminence has chosen. I, a humble demon, must admit my inferiority. At that moment, a commotion erupted from the surrounding crowd. Everyone, look, Her Eminence is here. A beautiful figure emerged from the crowd. It was none other than the Lord of Mount Tu Shanlin. The 2 stupid pigs are still over there counting their money. Today's slots are full, so please leave. But when they realized it was Your Eminence, they were immediately too terrified to even get up. What kind of tricks is this Zhang Li playing? I shall go and meet him myself. She was clearly the most powerful empress in the kingdom, yet she went to listen to a sermon by a mere foundation establishment level Taoist. It was because the little animals that listened to his sermon were achieving enlightenment and ascending one by one. But this act also drew the empress's displeasure. Since you're so eloquent, why don't you try talking to me, and me alone? If you speak well, your reward will be a lap pillow. If you don't, you'll lose your head. Man smiled awkwardly. If you're going to be this tyrannical, I don't have to speak. The empress reached out and pointed a finger gently. Cut his tongue out for me to have with my wine. The man plopped right down on a large rock. To preach the Tao for you, Empress, is an honor that spans 3 lifetimes. Then, he pointed 2 fingers towards the center of his brow. A glimmer of light appeared. He was actually putting on a serious show of demonstrating the Tao for the Empress. Your Eminence is a great demon god who walks an unconventional path. Why not try cultivating my humble, unorthodox ways? The so-called creation of heaven and earth can all be used as a crucible. The Empress was stunned for a moment. Isn't this the ultimate technique of the Shenshao Palace? You hide your secrets quite well. For the Shenshao Palace to actually teach you the innate creation sutra. Tell me, if I were to kill you, would the Shenshao Palace immediately turn against me? But would you have the heart to do it? The Empress snorted coldly and stood up. After today, I will issue an order. That no one is to disturb you. The man thought to himself, that damn Tsunere. She's clearly worried about me but pretends she wants to kill me. After the Empress left, the man began rummaging through everything. This was all the hard-earned tutoring money from his sermons. The man was just about to close the window, when a little fox, Tu Shan Ning, leapt in. With a slam, the man shut the window directly. You stinking brat, how dare you treat me like this? Believe it or not, I'll call my big sister, the Empress, to teach you a lesson. Brother-in-law, the best brother-in-law in the world. The man crossed his arms. Now that's a much better attitude. Go on, we can discuss anything, as long as it's not about borrowing money. Brother-in-law, all my little friends heard about your sermon, but they still don't believe me. They're calling me a big liar. The man was stunned. What are you getting at? You want me to make a house call for some private tutoring? Yes, please, I'm begging you, brother-in-law. Do me this favor. I, Tu Shan Ning, am a person of status around here. If you get into trouble in the future, I'll have your back. The man whistled. Well, it's not entirely impossible. He looked at Tu Shan Ning with a friendly expression. Why don't we make a deal? As he spoke, he leaned close to the little fox's ear and whispered a few words. That night, the little fox was seen carrying a bag in her mouth. Then she zipped rapidly through the courtyard, while the man, as if plotting something, instantly completed a magical formation. Meanwhile, on the other side, inside the Fox Immortal Palace, the Empress was panting heavily. Her face was flushed red. My lady, are you feeling alright? Is it the full moon again, the day of the transformation? Sweat beaded on the Empress's forehead as she struggled to walk. Let's go over there. Just as the 3 of them were walking along a small path, the Empress suddenly became alert. Do you 2 feel like something's not right? The other 2 just shook their heads. The next moment, foxfire flared up in the Empress's hand. The door to a secret passage opened before them. You 2 stay here and guard. Do not let anyone in. Watching the Empress enter the stone door, the man finally let out a sigh of relief. That was close, I was almost discovered. Little Ningning, it's all thanks to the invisibility treasure you gave me. Tushan Ning looked at him with displeasure. You may be my brother-in-law, but you can't do bad things to my sister. The man quickly covered her mouth. Hey, can you keep your voice down? We're in big trouble if they discover us. Tushan Ning lifted her head proudly. Absolutely impossible. This invisibility treasure is a supreme magical item that her sister gave me. But, embarrassingly, the sword attendant then got up and looked into the distance. Tushan Ning was startled. What do you mean, the distance? They're clearly coming right for us. A wave of karma-slaying sword aura slashed forward like a full moon, and wherever it went, agonizing screams could be heard. Be careful, there are others here besides us. In my entire life, no one has ever seen through my invisibility technique. As expected of the female sword emperor, Tushan Ning watched the newcomers. His tone suddenly turned sarcastic. This young master of the great wilderness dares to propose to my sister? Bah, honestly, he's not even a match for you. The man began to analyze the situation with a serious expression. Looks like I'm not the only one planning to make a move while the Empress is weak. With the female sword emperor here, the rumors must be true. So, Her Eminence's hidden illness really does flare up during a full moon. The flower attendant immediately snapped at them. Are you qualified to discuss Her Eminence's affairs? The young master snorted coldly. Enough talk. Wait until I've taken the demon lord's true essence. Then I'll come back for a long night's chat with you two beauties. The previous gentleness in the flower attendant's eyes vanished completely. In its place was a pair of cold, piercing eyes. Her Eminence has two attendants. One is the sword attendant, whom I'm sure you've all heard of. The other is the flower attendant, which is me, the apocalyptic dragon vine. One moment, the sword attendant was right beside the flower attendant. In the split second that the young master of the great wilderness was stunned. The next, she was already behind him. There's something you don't know, young master. We may be mere attendants, but the one we serve is no mortal, but a god in this world. She is the most powerful empress on the continent. Yet every full moon, she becomes incredibly weak. And now this young master plans to exploit that vulnerability. Fortunately, the empress's sword and flower attendants joined forces to stop him. The sword attendant even unleashed an unparalleled wave of sword energy to finish off the shameless young master. But at the critical moment, the snake elder intervened to save him. In an instant, he transformed into a giant serpent, lunging at the sword attendant. Boulders scattered everywhere. The young master was overjoyed and cheered him on. But the flower attendant, who knew the sword attendant's true strength, merely sneered from the sidelines. Just as she expected, the sword attendant was not only unharmed, but she seemed even more excited. If you want a real fight, then please, try to last a bit longer. As soon as she finished speaking, the sword attendant leapt into the air. With a loud crack, the giant serpent's head was instantly blown apart. The great serpent lay dying on the ground, seeming to finally understand that the sword attendant couldn't be beaten with brute force. You can't protect your master. Suddenly, a huge, demonic mirror appeared, standing upright in mid-air. It gave off an endlessly strange aura. The flower attendant looked towards the mirror, worried. What kind of trick is this mirror? I respectfully summon my lord's spirit. At that moment, a demonic eye opened in the center of the mirror. The sword attendant's body began to be devoured and absorbed, bit by bit. As an onlooker, the man could see it all clearly. That mirror is pure evil. It can even absorb the sword attendant's soul. Seeing how bad things were, the flower attendant frantically rushed toward her. Sword attendant, just hold on a little longer. But there was no way the young master was going to let her through. He instantly unleashed a torrent of flames, and the blazing inferno separated the two attendants. Meanwhile, even within the illusion, the sword attendant quickly realized she needed to get back. Just then, a mysterious voice spoke from behind her. The great female sword emperor, a slave for 1,000 years, are you truly content with that? Shut your mouth. Without a second thought, the sword attendant slashed at the fiery figure who had spoken. If you were truly content, you wouldn't be able to see me. You have to admit, your inner demons run deep. Who are you? I don't have time to play games. You can call me Mr. Mirror. Meanwhile, on the flower attendant's side, she was covered in wounds, panting heavily. Her skills were in control, not direct damage. What's more, her wood element was countered by the young master's fire. The young master sneered, it's useless to resist. Soon enough, you'll obediently submit to me. The rest of you, stop hiding. Attack her together. I had to rush in before the Empress came out of her seclusion. Just as Hua Nu was fighting off several opponents, she suddenly felt a demonic gust of wind behind her. And just as she feared, the giant had a hidden killing move. A purple mist immediately enveloped Hua Nu's body, and what's more, the mist was laced with poison. It seeped into Hua Nu's body through the vines. The young master didn't miss the chance to land a finishing blow either. A fireball he'd been charging for ages immediately hurtled toward Hua Nu. Powerless, she collapsed to the ground. She was clearly at the end of her rope. The man thought to himself, I have to step in. If this keeps up, my wife, the Empress, is going to be in real trouble. With that, he formed a seal with his hands. Pressing 2 fingers together, he began to mutter an incantation. The young master suddenly froze. A vast white fog had enveloped everything. Wan Nu paused, realizing this must be an ally. The man grinned proudly. So, your brother-in-law's pretty impressive, huh? The little fox pouted. Just go save Wan Nu already. I have something more important to do. With that, the man dashed into the ancient hall. But the moment he stepped inside, he was hit by a bone-chilling cold. Then, from the inner chamber, he heard his wife's laughter. Oh no, he thought. It's a full moon. She hasn't gone berserk, has she? The man thought, well, screw it. I've made it this far, can't turn back now. But the moment he stepped into the inner chamber, he froze in his tracks. He saw a pair of feet swinging playfully in the air. His wife was sitting on the bed, holding a male-figured doll. He even saw her issuing commands to the doll. I order you to play with me this instant. The man called out to the Empress, and she finally turned to look at him. The little one is no fun. You're just in time. I want to play with the big one. With a flick of her tail, the Empress instantly had the man wrapped up tight. The man gasped, what in the world is going on? Hugs. My sweet baby. She was supposed to be the Empress of the demon realm, ruler over tens of thousands. But on the night of a full moon, she transformed into a sweet girl with the mind of a child, even trying to wrap her foxtail around the man. All she wanted was to cuddle with her husband. She even said that tonight, she'd only sleep with the good folks who hit the like button. Looking at the woman, who was now panting heavily, the man instantly understood. He'd guessed before that Tushan Lan had 2 souls in one body. The one possessing her body on the full moon must be the second soul. But then, a horrifying thought struck him. That breath Tushan Lan just let out, was that the secondary soul's essence? If so, that means my wife's true self is about to wake up. Seeing her regain her senses, the man was scared out of his wits. Wait, honey, let me explain. But Tushan Lan's face was flushed with anger, and she was in no mood for explanations. A single slap sent the man flying across the room. He lay on the ground, groaning in pain. He muttered under his breath, geez, this woman doesn't pull her punches. You dare trespass in a forbidden area? What do you have to say for yourself? You may speak your last words now. But her imposing demeanor didn't even last 3 seconds before she suddenly froze. This feeling, there's no doubt, the other soul is returning. Tushan Lan thought she had to finish the man off before she lost control. But ultimately, her strength failed her. As she finally gave in and her eyelids fluttered closed. His other wife, the secondary soul, asked with concern, honey, why are you on the floor? It's so much warmer up here on the bed. But the man just looked like he'd completely given up on life. As his consciousness started to fade, he suddenly felt 2 powerful energies colliding violently within him. And miraculously, these 2 forces seemed to be helping him heal. Well, he thought, I don't know which master is helping me. Healing my injuries is the #1 priority. When the man opened his eyes again, he had not only survived, but had even formally entered the 7th grade realm. When he came to, however, he found all his clothes were gone. What did you do? I was still an innocent man. It's over, it's all over. Who's going to want me now? But the secondary soul just snuggled up to her husband without a care in the world. You kept saying you were hot, sweetie, so I was just helping. What's wrong, hubby? Are you shy? The man then realized the chill from before was his wife's sacred energy. And the warmth was from this bed of fire essence stones. The man thought to himself as he helped his wife get dressed. If her main soul awakens now, even 10 of my lives won't be enough to pay for it. Darling, don't you run off. Come on, tell Tutu a bedtime story. There's a book I've been wanting to study for a while, but that sword slave fellow is always stopping me, never letting me read it. Seeing the man refuse, his wife's eyes instantly filled with tears. You're being mean to me, hubby. The man just facepalmed, speechless. No wonder Tushan Lan wanted to be in seclusion here and wouldn't even let her maids get close. Alright, I'll tell it to you, but only this once. An unknown amount of time passed before the man finally put the book down. Looking at his sleeping wife, he couldn't help but gently stroke her hair. My Lord Demon Master, please forgive me for what I'm about to do. To survive, I have no other choice. Just then, a system prompt popped up. Use life-binding blood pact? The man chose yes without a moment's hesitation. Following the system's instructions, the man gripped his wife's hand tightly. And in her sleep, Tushan Lan seemed to sense something. With a ding from the system, the man had completely bound himself to the demon lord, Tushan Lan. Meanwhile, on the other side, the young master of the Great Desolation watched as the thick fog gradually began to dissipate. The Great Serpent urged the young master to enter the stone gate and strike quickly. If we wait for the demon lord to awaken, there won't even be a place for us to be buried. But Flower Slave struggled to her feet, blocking their path. Even if I, Flower Slave, have to detonate my own demonic core today, you will not take a single step through that stone gate. The young master was furious. If that's what you want, then I'll grant you your wish. The next moment, boundless flames roared to life as he rose from the ground like a fire phoenix. Flower Slave tried to bind the fire phoenix with her vines, but the extreme heat radiating from them was unbearable. She collapsed heavily to the ground, her body limp and powerless, as the fire phoenix prepared to deal the killing blow. But then, a footstep was heard slowly approaching from the stone gate. Who dares to harm one of my people? A Bagua stone tablet suddenly materialized, blocking all of the phoenix's fire. The person walking out from the stone gate was none other than the man, Zhang Li. You've done all you can for your master, Flower Slave. You can leave the rest to me. A mere human cultivator dares to overreach so foolishly? The heavily wounded Flower Slave gave a cold smile. Young master, do you want to know who he is? This man is the Demon Lord's future husband. As her words fell, the man brought the 4 fingers of both hands together. Behold, as the waters of heaven come rolling in, the young master of the great desolation, is it? For what you've done today, crippling you wouldn't be going too far, now would it? He was clearly known as the most useless disciple in all of Shenshao Palace, yet in his eyes, even a demon-level master was nothing more than an ant. This was true even when he was facing the genius young master of the great desolation. He used the dragon seal to immobilize his opponent completely, and with a single word from his lips, dispel. The golden crow let out a miserable cry as 100 years of his cultivation completely scattered. But at that very moment, he trembled as the ancient dragon seal shattered from its very core. The immense backlash made him unsteady on his feet. He turned his head and saw the demon lord, Tu Shanlan. It turned out she had just tried, and failed, to break the life-binding pact, causing a system backlash that injured them both. Tu Shanlan stared at the man for a moment, her brow furrowed. I'll deal with you later. Flower Slave, however, was overjoyed. Your Highness, you've finally come out of seclusion. Hearing that his master had arrived, the golden crow was scared witless and immediately tried to flee. But how could Tu Shanlan possibly let him go? She leapt high into the air, striking the golden crow's head with her palm. Today, you will witness the fate of those who betray me. As Tu Shanlan whispered, thousand-year void, a black rain of blood began to fall from the sky. She then slowly descended amidst a shower of brilliant light and gently lifted the man's chin. Did you really think your petty little tricks would work? Did you think that in this lifetime, you could actually escape from my grasp alive? Just then, a giant hand of fire reached out from the void. It seemed to be gathering the soul of the young master of the great desolation. Tu Shanlan roared in anger. Do you think you can come and go from my domain as you please? As her voice faded, Tu Shanlan immediately gave chase. That evening, the man was thrown into a cell for the night. Tu Shanning showed up and immediately started calling him a big liar. The man cried out in protest, I've clearly helped you all out. Besides, aren't I your brother-in-law? Your family, don't give me that. Anning flicked her tail, dodging the man's attempt to pat her head. The man's face turned serious. I'm the one who saved the flower servant and the sword servant, right? Anning lowered her head in defeat. That part is true, but wait, that's not right. If that's the case, why did my sister lock you up? Well, of course it's because your sister is madly in love with me. She was afraid I might slip away, so she locked me up. Anning imagined the scene. I never knew sister was that kind of person. Seeing how easily Anning fell for it, the man cleared his throat. Anning, come closer, let me tell you a secret. But before the man could carry out his little scheme, the flower servant appeared by his side. Someone, come and unlock the master's chains for me. How can such crude things be used to restrain you, sir? The man greeted the flower servant awkwardly. Of all the times to show up, you had to come now. The flower servant quickly began to praise the master's great power. If I hadn't witnessed your might, sir, I would have mistaken you for a mere philosopher. The man stretched his limbs. Since you know what I'm capable of, why are you only freeing me now? The flower servant leaned in closer. Sir, you're so skilled at divination. But did you foresee that the demon lord has already returned? By order of my mistress, the Empress, I'm here to invite you for a meeting. If you dare to run, I won't stop you. Soon, the two arrived before the demon lord's grand hall. The flower servant suddenly turned her head. Sir, there's no need to be nervous. My mistress doesn't kill indiscriminately. Unless, she's in a very bad mood today. The man immediately caught on. I'll do my best to keep the demon lord happy. Meanwhile, in the Fox Immortal Palace, the demon lord was in a furious rage. Sword servant, you swore an oath to be loyal to me for life. So why are you now dissatisfied? This, Mr. Jing, that you met, who in the world is he? The sword servant knelt on the ground, not daring to get up. That Mr. Jing seems to be able to read people's minds, but your servant also made a discovery. Continue. That Mr. Jing once said, Zhang Li, you've ruined my plans again. Just then, the flower servant entered, cupping her fists. Mistress, I brought Zhang Li to you. The man quickly complimented the demon lord on her radiant aura. Tu Shanlan, toying with a jade bracelet on her wrist, suddenly spoke. The grand wedding is in 3 months. Are there any friends or family you'd like to invite? The man was stunned. Your Majesty, are you being serious? Tu Shanlan stared at him. Your ability to preach the Tao and enlighten the demons of Tushan proves you aren't entirely useless. The man cupped his hands and said, if that's the only reason, then I could just be a teacher. There's no need for us to get married. By the way, let me ask you something. Do you know a Mr. Jing? Hearing this, Zhang Li's whole body trembled. Meanwhile, in an ethereal void, the snake elder groveled on the ground, not daring to look up. The young master of the great wilderness is dead. How do you still have the nerve to be alive? You might as well give all of your spiritual power to me. Let me put it to good use. The next moment, Mr. Jing extracted the primal true essence from the snake elder's body. Zhang Li, it's you again.